Bhagavad Leela, 10th Canto, Chapter 38. Akrura's arrival in Vrindavan. After passing a night in Mathura, Akrura mounted his chariot and started for Vrindavan. That same morning, Narada offered prayers to Krishna. As he traveled on the road, Akrura became absorbed in a mood of great devotion for the lotus-eyed Krishna, and he began to think as follows: what pious act or great austerity did I perform, so that today I will see Lord Keshava? I am a materialistic man engaged in sense enjoyment. It's astonishing I'm getting such an opportunity, as it would be surprising to see a Shudra chanting Vedic mantras. But enough of such thoughts. After all, it is possible for even a fallen soul to behold the Supreme Lord. Just as a log being swept along a strong current of a river may sometimes reach the shore. Today all my sinful reactions will be eradicated, and my birth will become worthwhile, because I will offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. Indeed, King Kans has shown me great mercy by sending me to the lotus feet of Lord Hari. Surely I will see the face of Lord Mukunda. Since an auspicious omen is before me, I see the deer are passing me on my right. When I reach Vrindavan, I will get down from my chariot and bow at the lotus feet of Kaniya and Dauji, and I will offer my obeisances to Krishna's Gopa friends and all the Brijvasis. When I have fallen at his feet, Govinda will place his lotus hand upon my head. Being deputed by a demoniac king Kamsa, Akrura was a little afraid, but then he thought, the infallible Achyuta Govinda will not consider me an enemy, even though Kans has sent me as his messenger. The omniscient Lord Krishna is the actual knower of the field of this material body, Kshetrajna, and by his perfect vision he witnesses both externally and internally all the endeavors of the conditioned soul's heart. Thus he will cast his smiling, affectionate glance upon me as I remain fallen at his lotus feet. Apyangri mule wahitam kritanjalim mamikshita sa smitam ardraya drisha sapadya padvasta samastikil bisho voda modam vita vishanka urjitam. Thus Krishna will cast his smiling, affectionate glance upon me as I remain fixed with joined palms, fallen in obeisances at his feet. Then all my contamination will at once be dispelled, and I will give up all doubts and feel the most intense bliss. Will Krishna not glance at me with eyes moistened with the nectar of his mercy as I fervently offer respects at his lotus feet? Immediately I will achieve unlimited bliss, and all fear will disappear, because the Lord certainly knows my heart. Suritamam gyatim ananya daivatam durabhyam brihadbyam pararapsyate tamam atmahi tirti kriyate tadeva me pandascha karmatmaka uchvasit yuta. Recognizing me as an intimate friend and relative, Krishna will embrace me with his mighty arms, instantly sanctifying my body and diminishing to nil all my material bondage, which is due to fruitive activities. Krishna will embrace me because we are best of friends and we are relatives. Among relatives, I am imbued with a mood of exclusive servitude, ananya daivatam, aikantika dashivantam, toward Krishna. By Krishna's embrace, my body will become pure and act as a holy tirtha to purify others. Afterwards, I will become liberated from material existence. Labdvanga sangham pranatam kritanjalim mamvakshyate krura tatet yurushrava tadavayam janma brito mahiyasa naivadrito yodig amushya janma tat. Having been embraced by the all-famous Lord Krishna, I will humbly stand before him with bowed head and joined palms, and he will address me, "My dear Akrura." At that very moment, my life's purpose will be fulfilled. Indeed, the life of anyone whom the Supreme Personality fails to recognize is simply pitiable. Natasya kaschit daita surittamo nacha priyo dvaishya upeksha evava tatapi bhaktan bhajate yatatata suradramo yadvad upashritor tadha. The Supreme Lord Krishna has no favorite and no dearmost friend, nor does he consider anyone undesirable, despicable, or fit to be neglected. All the same, Krishna lovingly reciprocates with his devotees in whatever manner they worship him. As trees of heaven fulfill the desires of whoever approaches them. Kim chagrajo ma vanatam yaduttama smayan parishwajya karhitam anjalo griham praveshyapta samasta satkritam samprakshyate kamsa kritam sabandushu. And then Sri Krishna's elder brother, Dauji, Balaram, the foremost of the Yadus, will grasp my joined hands while I am still standing with my head bowed. And after embracing me, Balaram will take me to his house. There he will honor me with all items of ritual welcome and inquire from me about how Kamsa has been treating his family members. Shukadev Goswami continued, Parikshit Maharaj, while Akrura, the son of Shwafalka, traveling on the road, meditating deeply on Krishna, reached Gokul, the sun was beginning to set. In the pasturing ground, Akrura saw Krishna's footprints, the distinct marks of lotus, barleycorn, flag, thunderbolt, trident, and elephant goad. Overwhelmed with intense joy, Akrura's bodily hair stood erect. His body flooded with tears and began trembling like a leaf. Jumping down from a chariot, Akrura rolled in the dust that had been touched by Krishna's footprints. Akrura exclaimed, Angrira jamsya hoati. Ah, this is the dust from my master's feet. What fortune to attain such rare things. The ultimate goal of life for all embodied beings is the ecstasy that Akrura experienced by laying aside his pride of aristocratic birth and by worshipping the simple Brijbasis. And he put aside his fear that Kamsa would punish him for showing affection for Krishna. And he surrendered his lamentation for his family members, who Kamsa might harass, so that he could absorb himself fully in Krishna consciousness. Akrura saw Krishna and Balaram face to face in the village of Braj, having just returned from cowherding in the village. Krishna and Balaram had just bathed and attired in beautiful, attractive garments, and now they were milking the cows. Overwhelmed with loving feelings, Akrura jumped down from the chariot and offered dandavats at the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. Thrilled to see the Supreme Lord, Akrura shed incessant tears. He felt so much eagerness that he could not present himself. Due to ecstatic rapture, Akrura could not introduce himself properly, saying, "I, Akrura, offer my respects to you." He remained speechless, stunned, his voice choked up, body covered with goosebumps. Krishna picked up Akrura and embraced him, feeling pleased, for Krishna is always kindly disposed to his surrendered devotees. Balaram held Akrura by the hand and also embraced him, and took him with Krishna to his house. While inquiring from Akrura about his journey, Balaram offered him an opulent asan, washed his feet, and respectively served him milk with honey. He poured water over Akrura's feet. And to give pleasure to the eyes of Akrura, as is done in etiquette, a beautiful cow was brought forward with the thought, "Please look at this cow, she is yours," as a donation. Then they respectfully fed Akrura with sumptuous food. Being Dwadasi, he broke his brata in their house. When Akrura had finished eating to his full satisfaction, Balaram offered him aromatic herbs for sweetening his mouth, gandhamale, with fragrances and flower garlands, makavaser, gandhamaler. Thus Akrura once again enjoyed the highest pleasure. Nanda Maharaj then inquired from Akrura, "How are all of you able to maintain yourselves while that merciless Kamsa remains alive? You are just like sheep under the care of a butcher. Indeed, Kamsa has murdered the infants of his own sister in her presence, even as Devaki cried in anguish. Why should we even ask about the well-being of his subjects?" Being honored by this perfect exhibition of how a guest should be received at home, Akrura forgot the fatigue of his journey. Akrura's vision, chapter 39. While being honored so much by Krishna and Balaram, Akrura, seated comfortably on a couch in the house of Nanda Maharaj in Nandagaram, felt that all his desires, which he had contemplated while coming to Vrndavana on the chariot from Akrura, were now fulfilled. What is unobtainable for one who has satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Finally, Krishna and Balaram bid Akrura good night, and Krishna said, "Oh, my dear uncle, see how much suffering I have caused my offenseless parents. Because of me, their sons were killed by Kamsa, and they themselves were imprisoned in Mathura. Now please tell us why you have come here." Akrura then relayed Kamsa's message, and he told Krishna everything that had happened in Mathura. Akrura revealed Kamsa's intentions and how Narada Muni told Kamsa that Krishna is actually the son of Vasudeva. Upon hearing this, Krishna and Balaram mildly laughed and then told Nanda Baba of Kamsa's orders. Nanda Maharaj had the village constable make the following pronouncement throughout his district. "Hear ye, all residents of Nanda Braj. Collect all the available milk products and valuable gifts and load them on the Bail Gadis. Tomorrow we will go to Mathura to see a grand festival there and pay our taxes to King Kamsa. When the Braja Gopis heard that Akrura had come to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, they became extremely distressed. Some of the gopis became so upset that they stopped all their activities as if they were about to die. Remaining stunned and stationary, they simply meditated on Krishna, completely unaware of the external world, like a self-realized Atmaram yogi. The faces of the gopis flushed with anguish and lost all their natural color. The breathing was heavy, and hot air passed through the nostrils, and some gopis fainted at this horrible news. The Braja damsels were afraid of even the briefest separation from Lord Mukunda. Now, at the thought of the great separation about to come, they were filled to the brim with anxiety. The gopis gathered together with their quickly beating hearts and expressed themselves to each other in several verses of the Bhagavatam, which are known as the Viraha Gita. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.